What's good? It's Wrestle Kinder, and today I'm going to be discussing my Queen of the Ring predictions. I'm going to go over each side of the bracket, who I'm going to have to the finals. I'm going to jump straight into it. Going to start off with the Raw side of the bracket. Some of the matches already happened, but I'm still going to go over, give you my thoughts of the match, how I felt about the winner, did I think who should have won that match, etc. The first match I'm going to start off with on the Raw side of the women will be Zoe Stark versus Ivy Nile. This was a solid, decent match, nothing special. The right winner ended up winning in Zoe Stark. I would have picked Zoe Stark anyway to go advance. I think they're higher on Zoe Stark than they are Ivy Nile. Zoe Stark just not too long ago was just uh in a match with Rhea Ripley for the World Heavyweight Championship match. I think at Survivor Series, yeah. And then she had another match at Crown Jewel in the Fatal 4-Way. Plus, she was in a feud with Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus. Like, they're high on Zoe Stark. They see a lot of stock in her, so it only made sense for Zoe Stark to advance to the next round. Plus, I'm high on Zoe Stark. I like her a lot. I think she could be in that, Ronda Rousey's Shayna Baszler-esque type of woman. She plays like a similar role to them. It only made sense for Zoe Stark to advance to the second round. Next, we got Lyra Valkyria versus Dakota Kai, another match that already happened, but this match was pretty solid. The right person ended up winning again, in my opinion. Lyra Valkyria only makes sense. Makes no sense for Dakota Kai to advance because there's no reason for Dakota Kai to really advance here, because if Dakota Kai was to advance, you may have her win against Zoe Stark, but I don't think there's no point, because you have Io Sky in this tournament, and Io Sky is on the weaker side of the bracket in terms of the women, no offense, but she's on the weaker side, so it only makes sense for Lyra Valkyria to get advanced. Plus, you want to showcase that NXT talent. She was the NXT Women's Champion. It only makes sense for her to advance to push the next generation of the women's division. Now we get to Io Sky versus Natalia. It only makes sense for Natalia to lose. Io Sky has to advance. Makes no sense for Natalia to beat the rising up and coming star in Io Sky, the woman who just recently lost her WWE Championship. You still want to build that momentum of her being that dominant woman. So it only makes sense for Io Sky to advance. Not going to speak much more, but it was a solid match. Now we get Zelina Vega versus Shayna Baszler. This match has not happened yet. This is very interesting because Zelina Vega was the last woman to win the Queen of the Wing tournament. But this is very tricky because you could do the whole, you could have Zelina advance just to showcase her being, the last Queen of the Ring winner, showcase that she can, still win it. But I think they're going to give the win to Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler still, she isn't the dominant force that she should be, but they still have her win matches depending on the matchup. And Zelina Vega hasn't been built up to really be a credible opponent. And now Shayna Baszler is on NXT, so maybe that's a reason why you may want her to leave, but you may want her to lose. But I think they're going to give the win to Shayna Baszler. I don't think Zelina Vega being the ex Queen of the Ring winner, I don't really think that's going to really play a factor here, because I don't think their stock is that high on Zelina Vega. But maybe I could be wrong, but I have Shayna Baszler going to the second round. Now we get to the second round. Now we get Zoe Stark versus Lyra Valkyria. This match honestly could go either way, but in my opinion, based off who I would have going to the third round, Lyra Valkyria would have to advance her, because part of it is because her being the NXT champion. But I also think that you could play some story narrative, who I'm going to have go to the third round for the women, because I think Lyra Valkyria has a story with Becky Lynch, the story with Damage Control. I think you could put her in that, and I think that will play a factor into the next round. And plus, I just don't see Zoe Stark having she has a bit of a case, because, she was in the main event scene for the World Heavyweight Championship. She could get back there, but I just don't think they're going to push her yet. And I think they're going to advance Lyra mainly because, the NXT call-up showcase her being, the next woman, the next up. She's next up. She's next up in the women's division. I think they're going to showcase Lyra, have her a good showing. I think Lyra's the good choice to win against Zoe Stark. Now we get Io Sky versus Shayna Baszler. This is very simple. Io Sky has to win. That's the only way I would have had Zoe Stark advancing, was if Shayna Baszler was to go to the third round. But I don't think Shayna is going to win. I think that because Shayna's still doing her thing at NXT with Natalia and Carmen Petrovic. So I think they're not going to push her any more further than this. think Io Sky is the perfect winner here. Only makes sense. Continue her dominant run. Continue to, get closer to the finals to the Queen of the Ring tournament. And that's where we're going to get to our next match, which is the third round, Lyra Valkyria versus Io Sky. This is where you could connect the dots with the whole not Judgment Day, Damage Control storyline, because last week, Lyra Valkyria ended up helping Becky Lynch fend off Damage Control after they was jumping her. And this is where Io Sky and Lyra Valkyria, one of the members of Damage Control, could, interact and start the feud there. Now, you could go either way here to me, but I don't think they're going to have an NXT call-up immediately, be one of the focal points of a pay-per-view this early, especially Lyra Valkyria. I feel like if any NXT superstar was going to get it, I think it would have been Dragunov or potentially Carmelo Hayes, or I would have even Braun Breaker, but I don't think they're going to give it to Lyra Valkyria. But I think Io Sky will win this match, but I think it's going to be because she's cheating. I think Damage Control is going to get involved. Becky Lynch may try to help, but she's going to get outnumbered. And I think Io Sky is going to pick up the victory, which is going to continue the feud with Becky Lynch, Lyra Valkyria, and Damage Control. I think they're going to all be in the mix. And I think Io Sky could potentially be one of the people that faces Becky Lynch. But at the same time, Becky Lynch is going to face Liv Morgan, and they could put the title on Liv Morgan. I'm still a little iffy on that because part of me feels like they're not going to put the title on Liv Morgan. But not yet, but who knows? They could put the title on Liv Morgan, but I do think Damage Control and Becky Lynch will start feuding soon, and I think this is the perfect way to start it off with Becky Lynch being friends with Lyra. Lyra looked up to Becky Lynch. Have Io Sky, you could have Io Sky and Damage Control jump Lyra after the match. I think Io Sky does pick up the victory and goes to the finals to, wait for her opponent from SmackDown. Now we get to the SmackDown side of the bracket. The first match is Bianca Belair versus Candice LeRae. This match recently happened. I'm not going to go over too much about it. Candice LeRae tried to cheat, but of course it wasn't going to work. It's Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair is not losing to Candice LeRae. Bianca ends up moving on. Now we get Tiffany Stratton versus Michin. This match has not happened yet. This is straightforward too. Tiffany Stratton is winning. Michin is on NXT as well. So I'm assuming they're going to keep pushing her on NXT. And no offense to Michin, I like Michin, but it doesn't make sense for her to beat Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton is going to be one of the main eventers of the women's division, one of the top women of that division. It only makes sense for her to continue to push her and have her win against Michin, unfortunately. Well, not unfortunately. Unfortunately for Michin, but for Tiffany Stratton, that's great because Tiffany Stratton is amazing. Now we get to Jade Cargill versus Piper Niven. This match recently happened. This was a really good match, but the right winner ends up winning. Jade Cargill had to advance. You're not going to have Jade Cargill lose, especially not this early. Plus, she's not losing to Piper Niven, of all people. But Piper Niven put up a good fight. She showed a little bit of dominance, which I did like. But this was a really good match, but Jade Cargill was the right winner here. Now we get to Naomi versus Nia Jax. This match also happened. Nia Jax ends up advancing. That would have been my pick anyway. Only makes sense for Nia to win. It doesn't make sense for Naomi to go further just for her to fight Jade. It makes sense for Nia Jax to advance, to continue pushing her as the dominant force. Plus, it makes sense to do the whole rivalry, not really rivalry, but continuing what they did at the Royal Rumble with Nia Jax and Jade Cargill had to stare down, and then Jade ended up eliminating Nia Jax. So they could continue that to get that payoff from what happened at the Royal Rumble. But yeah, it only made sense for Nia to win. Now we get to the second round. Bianca Belair versus Tiffany Stratton. This was very iffy for me because I was going back and forth. But I ended up ultimately choosing Bianca Belair because I couldn't figure out a way for Tiffany to win. Because if Tiffany was to win is due to cheating, I don't see a way where even with her cheating, Bianca will lose. Because even when people cheat against Bianca Belair, Bianca still finds a way to win. The only time her losing due to cheating was against Io Sky, and that was at Crown Jewel, if I'm not mistaken. But it's very hard for Bianca to, and even then, she had to get jumped by like two people, because I think in that match, she got jumped by Asuka with the Misk, and I think she got jumped by Kairi Sane as well. So, it took like 3 to 4 people. It took all of Damage Control just to get Io Sky that win. So I don't think Tiffany Stratton by herself can do it. I would love for Tiffany Stratton to advance because in my opinion, Bianca shouldn't even be in this tournament. In my opinion, I understand why she's in it. It's because of star power, but I think they should have just gave this opportunity to someone else. I don't think Bianca needs it at all. Same goes for Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill doesn't need it because we already know those two women are going to be in the main event. We already know they're going to be prioritized. You could have gave this opportunity to someone else, but it makes sense in terms of star power. Now we get Jade Cargill versus Nia Jax. This match also I was going back and forth. Going back and forth. Now, this may surprise some of you guys. I have Nia Jax winning. Now, I have Nia Jax advancing because here's the thing. The obvious pick was to pick Jade Cargill and have Bianca Belair and Jade fight in the conference finals. But WWE is not giving us that match. It's way too soon. Because WWE is the same company that waited a full year for us to get Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch. And to this day, we still haven't even got Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair. So if you think WWE is going to have Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair fight on our Smackdown for the King of the Ring tournament, I just find that very hard to believe. I just don't think it's going to happen. This is what I think is going to happen. I don't think Jade is going to lose either, though, because I think it's too early to give Jade a loss. I think Jade Cargill is going to be similar to Cody Rhodes. I think she's going to be very similar to Cody Rhodes, where she wins and never lose until she faces that one opponent that she lose against, but it's going to be due to cheating. I don't think she's going to lose cleanly at all. I don't think it's time for her to give her a loss, even due to cheating. I think it's way too early. I think what they're going to do with Jade Cargill is I think they're going to have Nia Jax attack Jade Cargill either before the match or during her entrance or whatever, and have her attack her by injuring her. She's going to have an injury. She's going to have, kayfabe wise, she's going to have an injury. Then they're going to call off the match before it could get started. And Nia Jax either advances through that, or Nick Aldis would have a new challenger for her due to, not giving her a bye. But they're going to have her get a new challenger. Don't know who the new challenger would be in the hypothetical, but a new challenger ends up approaching. Nia Jax beats that new challenger, whoever it is, and she advances to the third round. That's why I have going predicting, because I don't see a world where Bianca and Jade are in the third round fighting each other. I think they're going to save that for a big pay-per-view. Now, I try to do it the other way around where Jade advances and Bianca ends up losing, but I just couldn't find a way for Bianca to lose even due to cheating. Where Jade, I could do an injury angle. Now, you could do an injury angle with Bianca as well, because they did do it on this recent Smackdown with her getting injured in the leg due to Candice LeRae cheating, but I just don't see them doing that yet. Now we get to the third round with Bianca Belair versus Nia Jax. This one is very obvious. Bianca Belair is going to face Io Sky at the King and Queen of the Ring pay-per-view. It only makes sense. I'm sorry. It only makes sense because Io Sky is a heel. You need a baby face in order to, go all the way. You need a baby face to face Io Sky. Simple as that. Like, you're not going to have Io Sky face another heel. Like, now, she will get rooted for. Well, it is in Saudi Arabia, so maybe. But in terms of traditionally, she may get rooted for just because people don't like Nia Jax. But you need a very over popular babyface to face Io Sky. It's between really Bianca Belair or Jade going to the King and Queen of the Way pay-per-view. It's really between those two. But I think they're going to give it to Bianca. I think they're going to run it back just because of the name. And I think they're going to have Io Sky get her rematch. Bianca get her rematch. And I think this is going to play a bigger story with Bianca and Damage Control. Because Bianca constantly brings up Damage Control. And she's always very frustrated and angry. And I think what's going to happen is I think Io Sky is going to win. But I think she's going to lose. I think Io Sky is going to win. But she's going to win due to Damage Control helping her out once again, similar to what happened at Crown Jewel. And I think this is going to build up the story of Bianca constantly can't get over Damage Control. She can't let Damage Control go. She can't let go what happened for the past 2 years. This is going to build up that animosity, a hatred, and I think they're going to continue to play up that storyline. So I have Io Sky as your 2024 Queen of the Ring winner. I think it only makes sense. Bianca doesn't need this. Jade doesn't need this. The only women who should be winning is any women on the Raw bracket, if we're being honest. Well, the only woman you could make an argument for on the SmackDown is mainly Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton, but I just don't think it's their time. I just don't think there's a way for them to go there, depending on based off who they're facing. But I think Io Sky is the right winner, perfect winner. I think they need to continue building her up as that monstrous, dangerous heel, especially on the Raw brand, because the Raw, they don't really have that top heel right now. Like the only woman you could argue is Liv Morgan, but they still got to build her up a little bit more. So, and plus, I think they need to continue to build up Io Sky. It makes no sense for her to just magically drop down the card just because she lost her title. Continue to build up Io Sky. I think she's the perfect winner here. Make Damage Control that dominant faction. I, I like this card. I like what I did here. This could go multiple ways in my opinion. I think this is a lot more. I think this is more unpredictable than people give it credit for. Some people think it's a little too predictable. I think it's a bit more unpredictable than people give it credit for. But yeah, that's my predictions for the 2024 Queen of the Ring tournament. You guys let me know what you guys think. Let me know, did I get anything? Do you guys think I got anything wrong? Let me know if you thought that I was maybe overthinking it, or maybe I didn't put enough thought into it. But you guys let me know. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. But yeah, that's it.